The Snake, no, hold on. The Snake was alright. It was fun to look at, having it going around that curly-whirly thing. Do you remember what it was called?
It was called Snake.
Was the next Snake? Psst. You sure it was called Snake?
I'm sure it's called Snake. It comes out on the PS4, doesn't it?
Oh.
The Xbox. I'm sure it's just called Snake.
Yeah.
I think what intrigued me was it was like a Nokia game to start with. You know, like the flat one where you used to go round.
Well, it was, but then
That's what intrigued me at
yeah,
first.
but then you have to have this bird that takes you up in the air. I don't know. I just didn't really. And the bloke said who was demonstrating it. So there's no demos. I mean, there's no
There's no lights.
enemies. There's no time restriction. You just walk about and, well, slither about. But I don't know.
It's a different concept, I think. That's what I like about it.
I guess, but
It's something completely out of the box.
out of the box.
Yeah, it's not a platform. You can't really call it a platform. You can't really call it a strategy.
So what can you call it then?
It's different. I don't know. It's sort of a combination between like a platform come strategy in a way. It's sort of in the middle, but it hasn't got a benchmark on it. I think it would be quite good for younger kids to sort of like they can pick it up, throw it to one side, have a quick go, see what it's like.
Well, I guess like Gravity,
Yeah.
like learning like how I guess how animals
works.
Yeah, and how a snake would move. I did find it interesting, like how that bloke who was demonstrating it moved up the.
Yeah, like you said, I'll go
It's
up
like
the poles.
slithering up, sort of thing. But I don't know. I just found it a bit boring.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, it possibly would be if you're playing it for over an hour. You'd be like, oh, this is really rubbish.
Yeah.
But I think once you got immersed into it, I think it'd be quite good.
It might be. I never actually played it. Steve, you played it, so.
Yeah,
But
it was different. It was like how'd you get up here? And he's like saying you're thinking you're a snake. Where if you're playing like say Spyro, like a dragony type game, it doesn't feel like you're a dragon. Do you see what I'm getting at? It feels you were the actual animal.
Yeah, so I guess if you slither, it's using L1 and the L buttons, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah, I think it was the right L2 and Y made his head move, and then you could wrap him round.
Yeah.
So it's like a proper, it's like it interacts like a proper animal as such, which I thought was quite a good concept.
Yeah. Well.
The Central, that game,
Yeah.
that was good. C64. It's amazing that it was come in. Like they're going to port it over to something newer.
What was that playing on?
That was playing on PC, but that was it had like an Xbox 360 emulation.
Yeah, I was playing on the control pads and I found the pads really awkward. I don't know what the game. Steve said it's Sentinel or something.
Central, it was Rumidium, or whatever you like to call it on the C64. But they call it Centurion or something like that.
Iridium 2. You had to blow up the blocks. Well, I don't know. You had these little things you had to blow up, and then at the end, once you got 25 of them, you had to blow the cannons up.
Yeah, it's a bit like a Defender. You go to one end and you kill the aliens, then you can turn around and go back and kill the aliens. That's really what it's based on, because you've got like the long ship, and then you sort of fly down, don't you? You shoot some of the things that are flying towards you, and then you've missed it, then you have to fly all the way back to the other end of the ship.
Yeah.
It's sort of based on that, but not quite. But it's one of them games, like there's not a lot of games that you can just pick up, 5-minute play, and then think, oh yeah, do you know what I mean? A quick like bash on a game, like an old retro game.
Yeah. You say you couldn't pick it up and play. You could.
No, I meant you could.
Yeah,
it's
one of them games you could just pick up and play. You know, but just one thing, I can't remember if Iridium 2 or Iridium, like you could fire in this game, but if you want to thrust, you stop firing, so you go to the end of the level, you do a U-turn and come back again.
Yeah.
But I found that annoying because like you could either do one or the other. And the bloke demonstrating this one said, oh, you know, if you hold down the fire button, you use your thrusts, then you go to the end. But I found it Iridium on the 64 was probably easier, harder, because you had things in the middle. you had pink things. You had to fly sort of
Like obstacles.
around, but I don't remember getting hit by them.
Yeah.
I don't know if you did. I don't know, but
I don't know. I think it is. It's quite a nice concept. Whether it would be like a top number one seller, not sure. I think a lot of people would be buying it because they remember what it used to be like.
Yeah, but I don't know. Again, I'm used. It was a joypad, and I didn't find the buttons and everything could have been alright, but I just found a joystick easier. You know, with micro switches in, just more sensitive than using the D-pad.
One button and stuff like that. It's that side. It's trying to get over the concept that it's an old game but with more buttons.
Yeah, but I think they only had one button. I think it was B or whatever it was. So it wasn't an Xbox joypad. It was one of these earlier joypads, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think it wasn't a 360 or one of them pads. It was a weird pad that I could remember. But
yeah, it was different, as I say. It's weird to see something like that, and they're still trying to fight to keep something like that going.
And he had some other games as well, like Uridium. I can't remember top of my head the other ones, but the bloke who was chatting to, if I think we had one of his leaflets. So what we do, we put something in the below or somewhere. But yeah, he was saying that he's working on other games, and is it Julian Rignall was one of the people he was chatting about.
He's also saying about getting a book out or something.
Yeah,
is that right?
Yeah, there's some retro sort of film or information or something or another, but I can't exactly remember what he was actually saying. But if I read the website, then you can have a look and see if there's more information on there.
Yeah, it was good. That was two of the new games really. Then you had that Sensible Soccer, didn't you? That was really good.
Oh, don't talk about Sensible Soccer. We've got to, no. I'm too excited for that game.
That was really good. Now I've seen like where you've got like the VR on the Samsung phone, and someone done like a video of it where you pan and they were like doing a band, and I felt quite disorientated once I took the headset off, and it felt like, do you know what I mean? It felt like you could turn around and you'd be like, whoa, this ain't right. But once I played that Sensible Soccer, now I'm not into football games. It felt like I was actually in there, looking down onto the pitch.
At the pitch.
And it felt like you was in it. And once I took that headset off, I didn't have any disorientation whatsoever, which I thought was really good. Well, hopefully games will be more like that. But then again, each person's different. It's like maybe you found it that you felt really sick after you had them. I don't know, but to me, it felt like I was like in it, and I didn't feel disorientated, which you don't want.
I found it spot on. I couldn't knock it for anything. I couldn't. It was Sensible Soccer updated in 3D, well, in virtual reality, and you felt like the pitch was there right in front of you. You felt like you could just headbutt one of the players. I don't know. If you throw joypads like at your face, you feel like you could knock the players over. I haven't used virtual reality before, but it felt so real, and the game was fluid. You know, as Steve said, there was no sort of deterioration in the game at all, and it's a game that I'm dying to play.
What did he say it was coming out on anyway? Was it?
The Xbox One, PS4 and PC. He didn't actually say anything else. I wouldn't think it would be brought out on anything else. I think they might be doing an iPad or an something or other, Android, but I could be wrong. But I think they was releasing it on like the mobile network, but I'm not 100% sure. But Sensible Soccer for me was a great game, and what I played of it today was really, really great. And it just had the elements like the passing and everything, and in 3D
it just looked unreal, really.
Yeah, it just blew us away completely. It did, and having that name, you know, with John Hare doing all the programming, and you know, just programming it, designing it, making it just virtually as Sensible Soccer was. It works. We did play it in 2D. And I don't know, I found it.
See, I quite liked it in 2D. Now I don't like football do like sensible soccer. I find that's like one of them sort of games you can pick up, have a quick go on it, and then that's it. But the 2D one looked really nice as well, I thought.
It did, and it felt the same. But you know, because we was playing it like in Manchester, you're going to sort of enjoy. I reckon you will enjoy it. I mean, the ball stuck to your foot, which hopefully is an option. We didn't actually go through the options. I don't think it was available or something. We just picked the joypad up and started playing. But with the ball not moving from your feet, it made it easier to play. Like Steve said, you pick it up, you play it. But it'll be nice if there was a pro, you know, like an option for pro. So it'd be like the original Sensi, that you know the ball will move away from your feet. There's probably information on the internet now, but I haven't looked too much into this one. But playing it today is gobsmacks, just absolutely amazing it is. And you know, if you was in Manchester at play, you know, I'd see what you guys, you know, see what you think of it, because I absolutely loved it. I did.
Yeah, as I say, it'd be not one of them games I'd rush out and go get it.
Well,
but I think I'd buy it. That's the thing.
I would get it. You know, hopefully, I don't know when it's going to be released. Did he say? I don't
think he really said when it was released. To be fair.
Yeah, we didn't get there. We didn't. Yeah, I don't think he said anything about it. But yeah, met John Hare. We was chatting about the game and everything, and really, really nice chap. He is. A few photos and everything, and videoed him for a sec. And yeah, John Hare, just absolutely legend.
Also the computer museum. That was good, wasn't it?
The computer museum, yeah. Well,
yeah, the museum. The fact that the guys down there, they're really nice, friendly. They like giving something back. Where some of the stalls they're like average prices, but these are like, to be fair, they were like pocket money prices, which would get you immerse you into something you might have had in your cupboard for a couple of years.
Yeah, just the computer museum for me was a people's person. It was, you know, I don't know, they were just friendly, they was helpful, you know, especially with the cassettes and everything, and which just a general stall. I guess it's, you know, with the museum and everything, I guess that's how they are, you know.
It must be very hard to get the funds for that, and they are a good cause, which, do you know what I mean? They don't have to do it.
No, and they did. They've been doing it for years. Well, to say years, since we've been going. I think was it 2013?
Yeah, I think so. That was 2013, something like that.
It must have been 3 years ago. It must have been. I bought that 64 of them.
Yeah.
It must have been.
They're always friendly, helpful, and they to me they're a great. If you're into computers and you want to keep it going and keep seeing it, they're a great charity to keep giving to.
Yeah, and that was helpful as well. You know, there's a few like things on the Ultimate, on the Ultimate 2, on the Commodore 64. I've got like something missing at the bottom. I've noticed a few of them around, like today and Saturday, that there's a few missing, so I'm not 100% sure what's going on with that. But you know, he sat down with me and you know, he had a look through, and then we was helping back because there's a couple of games that he mentioned, like the new Commando game that was released in Ghouls and Ghosts and Goblins. One of them wasn't working, so you know, I sort of said that, you know, I'll try it when I get home and email him and say if my one works, sort of thing, because he upgraded the firmware on the Ultimate. That's, what is it again? So I get the numbers.
Ultimate 1541 for the Commodore 64.
Yeah, and yeah, he upgraded the firmware to 3.04, and I'm still on I upgraded mine to 2.6, and yeah, it'd be nice to see if it's the firmware, because I think that one's in beta, the 3.0 or 3.1. So yeah, it's just, as I said, you know, he sat down with us and he had a look, and then, you know, he went through things with us. I mean, it's time.
Yeah.
I think they had the time to chat to people, they had the time to, you know, just to interact with people as well. What we found, it might be different for maybe other people, but with me and Steve, it was fantastic. Really good stall to go to. It was.
And so, at some time, maybe pop down there and actually see the museum as well, which might be the same, because they say they have a lot of collections and things like that. From what I can remember, he said he started it off, he started collecting computers and done it in his garage and invited people around to have a look.
Yeah.
So it just went from there, yeah. So it's quite impressive, the fact that he's done it like where he's just collected the odd computer here and there, got given a few, and then he's thought, right, you know, invite my mates around, have a quick play of them, see what they like. Then he's been given more and more, and then eventually he's thought, oh, I know, we'll open a museum. And I think that's how it came around, which is quite, to be fair, it's quite impressive at how something like that, people have got an interest and want to spend, like, put a bit of money into the community, and something like that where he must know what the value of stuff is, he wants to give it like a pocket money prices to help his interests grow into someone else's interest.
No, and that's basically sort of what was happening, you know, today sort of thing. It's really good, fantastic. It's in what the Retro Computer Museum.
Yeah, Retro Computer Museum.
Yeah, it's Cambridge.
I think it's Lancaster, isn't it?
It was Cambridge.
It might be Cambridge.
I'm pretty sure it's Cambridge.
Yeah, no, that was good. What else did we see? We saw like the arcades as usual. Some of the original ones, some of them not, as in like the original titles that are always there. It's quite good.
Outrun.
Yeah, Outrun. That's a fantastic game. You can't go around that.
No, that put a smile on my face again. That did. It was really great seeing that. There was one chap I was chatting to, and he had Outrun as what was it? I don't know if he lives near the seafront, but anyway, he had it. He was playing it at an early age, and he had sort of, I'm trying to think. He had easy access to the arcade machine because he lived down the seafront, and yeah, he completed it like 3 times. We walked around and everything, and he went back on it, and he clocked it. He was trying to complete it without crashing. It was, but he didn't. I don't think he managed it the times that we was watching. But yeah, he was a good bloke. He was letting people off it, letting, you know, after a go, and then jumping back on it. But yeah, really great to see.
I would have to study it a bit more. I know you say about you do left, you do right. I'd have to study it a smidge more.
You need to study it a lot. No, because you were slowing down and changing gears on first level.
Yeah.
You don't change gears. You know, you just keep it going, full whack. Once you get round that chicane, left, right, left, isn't it?
Right, left, yeah. He's trying to remember the course, that's the problem.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was playing it on the Tubers challenge, and I'm determined to complete it, but it feels so much better. It feels a lot better game on the deluxe, on the sit down, but it's easier to play the game standing up.
Yeah.
I found it.
The problem is when you're sitting down, it feels more like a car.
No, but I felt the bolt, what that bloke was saying, he felt that the Outrun bolt was different to the original bolt, because he said, like, when you turn the steering wheel left and right, it doesn't change the radio station.
Yeah.
Because all you hear is the waves or whatever off like
That's
the winds.
Right. Yeah, I noticed that.
But when you turn the steering wheel left and right, you could hear the music change.
Yeah. It did change. You know when you changed it slightly?
Yeah.
It did change, but you had to hold it there for a split second.
Yeah.
But normally you used to change it and it used to go dink, dink, dink. But he said something else about the timing was out on the original one, didn't he?
I think so. I think he said some of the cars, I don't know, he said the board was different on the sit-down one, but I felt natural how I was playing it, you know, on the stand-up one. It felt like it was Outrun.
Yeah.
I mean, it was fine, obviously it's Outrun, but it just felt like the sit-down one was like a newer board in there or something. It felt, well, that's what the bloke who clocked it like 4 times or whatever, what he was saying.
He would know.
Well, yeah.
See, not being nasty, I know it sounds silly, you wouldn't know.
No.
You wouldn't, unless you study it that much. You wouldn't. Yeah. To me, Outrun's Outrun.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell if you said to me I was slightly off, the pitch is slightly off. The cars normally goes to the left and it's meant to go to the right on this bit. No matter what you play it on, it always goes left, but it goes right. You know when you got like the traffic bits.
No, yeah. I'm talking about the cars. Like as you're driving through, the cars are laid out exactly the same places.
Yeah.
The game's not mapped. It's on rails. You know, depending on how fast you go around the track, the cars are exactly the same places where they are.
I see, I've never tweaked that.
Yeah. So, but the trouble is, if you miss gear, like you start off in first, well, low gear, then you go to high gear. But if you misjudge it, the cars do alter. They do. But anyway, but yeah, the cars it depends how fast you go. How I worked it out, if you full whack, then you can time the chicane.
Just right.
Yeah, so you sort of bend round, and there's a lorry, so you come round, and then you can bend round to the right hand side. But I don't know. You have to sort of.
I have to study it. I honestly don't know. I've never really studied it in that way.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm glad that I had to sit down one. I didn't get on Afterburner though.
That's the point. We didn't do a hell on that, did we?
Nah. Should have done.
That power drift, that was weird, wasn't it? That was quite fierce.
Yeah.
I know the game's always been like that. I've never really liked the game as such.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that I wanted to go on that one because it moved.
Yeah, it was different. It was the bloke prior to us though. He was good. He was.
But he felt, to be fair, it didn't seem to move that much when he was in it.
No. It's just us, isn't it?
Yeah, it was like,
steering
wow.
up.
I literally, when I turned the corner the first time, I felt like I was sliding out the car. I was like, that's why, I know this sounds silly, I know that woman I said about the thingy, like the little girl.
Yeah.
That's why I tapped on the lady's thingy. I thought I could see what's going to happen. That little kid's going to press that button. It's going to go like that, and she's going to go flying.
Yeah.
And I had to say, I noticed I was only being. I could see it coming, and it would be an accident, and I wouldn't wish that on someone.
No, of course not. I didn't even notice.
Yeah, she was literally standing next to the car, and you saw how much it tipped.
Yeah.
10 years from now, when she's a bit older. I love the arcades. I remember when this bloke come up to me.
Yeah. I wonder if they have the same opinion as us, like the kids today.
Yeah.
Will have the same opinions what we did when we were younger.
You just imagine that, couldn't you? When I was a youngster,
Yeah.
I went to this arcade place.
It wasn't by the seaside. It was in Manchester.
And this bloke saw I was struggling on this crappy game, and he recommended Outrun.
Yeah.
I love it.
Out of anything new that we saw, the Atari 2600 that emulate.
I have heard of it.
Yeah, I might probably would have taken note. Well, I did
So
take
it's
notice.
Harmony. I have heard of them. I know they're quite hard to get hold of that now.
But I think that virtual reality sensible soccer. It's because I've used VR with my cousin. Like he's got Google. Same thing. There was a phone in there, wasn't there? He's done it with Street View. So you put the goggles on, and you don't walk. You just look left and right, like outside. So he's used Street View with it. But I haven't played a game, and that was a high. You know, that was a higher end in what my cousin's got, I think. So in other words, you know, it's a physical game. My cousin was just like, you look left, you look right down the street.
Yeah, but you heard what he said. He's altered it slightly, he said that it doesn't give you that.
Yeah.
When you do VR on the Samsung phone, they showed me a video.
Yeah.
As I say, I was standing up, and you looked right and looked up, down like that. I felt quite disorientated of how it was happening.
Yeah.
But with that, I could look at the pitch, you know what I mean, left and right, and I felt I like this. Do you know what I mean? If that was my first experience,
Yeah.
I'd be like, wow, yeah, this is great. Because that was my second experience.
Yeah.
My first experience of having it, I didn't expect a lot.
Yeah.
I expected when I took them off, I was going to be as giddy as anything.
Yeah, but you felt normal.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's what I mean. My first experience was horrible.
Or did John Hurt actually persuaded you in? You know, with his magic powers? You can't. And, you know, just being that, it just felt like it was there, right in front of you. It was, but it wasn't.
Well, no, it did feel, as you say, it did feel a weird concept.
But what it felt like is a game of Subbuteo.
Yeah, I thought that.
Like, you've got the pitch in front of you on the table, and you can just see it. That's another good way of explaining it. They looked.
It didn't look like you could go like that and stroke their hair.
I think it did. I think I was tired. I think I was immersed in the game. I'm thinking, you know, I could actually see the sensible players. But I don't know, it felt like sensible as well.
That's the other thing. To be fair though, when we was playing it, you know, when we first played it,
yeah,
I quite liked it then.
Yeah, because it felt natural then, it did.
I felt like, cool, playing it, I've cracked open the 1200 here or the 600 again.
Of a fashion, yeah, you didn't have to swirl a little rest spinning around.
Yeah.
And you couldn't skip the replays at the time. I don't know about when the game's released. But yeah, I felt it. And the passes as well.
Yeah.
Like, I'll go, like in the centre, I'll go left, where was it? Go left, then up the pitch, then back round, and dribble around everyone. Well, just pass it around, and then try and hit it in the middle, and then like shoot. But again, it's too many buttons.
Yeah, that's the problem with most games now.
Because he said like runs like R1 or whatever it is, and then it's one of the triggers, and it's like you don't have to run in sensible soccer. You just you naturally run. But I suppose it's got the more buttons for it, and
the more buttons you get on the controller, the more they want to get from the controller.
Well, it's the same as that Iridium game, you know. I felt it was alright, but I just felt the buttons were just, I don't know.
It felt like there was two humongously big controller for something that's so old.
Yeah, because I didn't think it wasn't a 360 one at all or anything.
It wasn't. Iridium was great, but as I say, I don't think he'll go as far as he thinks he will.
No. Did he say you can get it on Steam?
Yeah.
We just need more powerful computers.
Yeah.
Because that's what that Snake bloke was telling you, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He said, I look on Steam and everything.
Yeah, but Steam is only a controller, you do know that, and you can get a console for
Steam.
Steam.
I know, but Steam will be better for the computer though.
Yes.
Because you need the hard drive with all the stuff on it. You can build your games up. You might not have enough room to fill, you know. But yeah, it's just on a net. It's the same as the Xbox live service on the PSN. You download it to your hard drive and the game's on there.
Yeah. See, I think the bloke at work, right? He goes to me, you should go on PS4, subscribe and that, like this. He's got 3. And he goes, you get a couple of games a month, you know, it's worth it, 15 quid.
Yeah.
Like this.
Yeah.
Right, and they go, but when you stop the subscription, what happens? He goes, I did that. He goes, you can't play the games.
Exactly.
I'm like, what's the point then?
Because you carry on the subscription.
Yeah, that's the point. But the thing is, right, in 2 years' time, say, right, the PlayStation 4, whatever comes out, right, they'll discontinue that, so you still won't freaking be able to play it.
Well, I guess, but that's the same. It's the same thing, isn't it, as the Xbox with Outrun.
Yeah.
You know, you wanted it.
Well, I can't get it.
No, and Double Dragon Neo.
But the difference is, you can play it.
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
No, I mean you can play it if you cut your subscription.
Yeah, but there's a difference. I actually bought that game.
Yeah.
You're renting a service.
Yeah.
To play games. It's like you going to Blockbusters. You're not leaving your house, so you're paying to rent it. If you stop paying, you know, if you was paying like 15 quid a month, and you could go in, pick a game, whatever you want from Blockbusters, come out again, and if you stop paying for that service, then you wouldn't get that.
Yeah.
So
it's just the way they trick you. You can get 2-3 games a month and you'll be like, yeah, great. But you're not really, because they're never your own.
Yeah. But, you know, people must like it because they're still continuing it.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same as Xbox Live. You know, on the 360, they're doing golds. I mean, what was it, Games for Gold or something? And yeah, it's the same thing, really. But I think if you download the game, it'll be in your history. But you have to be on Xbox Live. Probably paying for the same subscription. I don't know, I'll have to have a look, because there's a couple of games I downloaded months and months ago. And I don't know if they're still on there or not. But Outrun I could definitely play. And I bought Sensible Soccer on the Xbox as well.
Well, the original.
Well, yeah, it's like £8, I think it was.
So if they stopped, if they put everything online 100%, you wouldn't, in theory, you wouldn't personally be able to buy a second-hand game.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to trade anything in. Because you wouldn't have anything to do unless you took your console in to trade it.
Imagine
fully.
That. Yeah, but you wouldn't know what game. Yeah, but what happens if you're trading it in, you drop it on the floor, and your hard drive will flat out and break?
Yeah, exactly. But you see what I mean? The only form of trading would be via your system.
Then you've got to take it to a dedicated game shop who's going to read that hard drive and read the stuff off it.
And tell you what it's worth, yeah.
Then you've got to trust them to delete your details because you can't only log in with it. No, it won't work.
No, but you see what I mean?
Yeah,
that's the way the developers are trying to go. But the community doesn't want it that way, which you can understand. Because it's like anything, isn't it? If it was all online, that's the way they want the TV. If it's all online, you physically stopped one avenue of...
I keep crashing.
Yeah. You know, also the Power Drift, that was good. I've never actually seen the movable version. I've only ever seen the stand-up one, which where it's like the Outrun, but it was a lot more violent in a way, you could say.
Well, the car actually moved, didn't it? far more than what than the Outrun cab did. I found, I mean, it was on the Amiga Power Drift, it was, but I don't think I ever got around to playing it. But I haven't sat down on this arcade machine, but it was, Steve said, it was virtually not throwing you, but it was leaning, moving more than what the Outrun cab was. And it felt like you was being, it felt really good. Really hard game. I didn't really, because you're up, sort of like stunt car racer, and you're going up and down like things. But I don't know. I just found it a bit difficult. I needed.
It was difficult, but it was totally. You could say if you gauge in it, say Outrun and say the Power Drift, same concept, but it just seemed the car seemed to move faster, more violent.
Yeah. That's what I found. A bit uncontrollable because it was a bit not difficult with the gears and the braking and knowing where to brake and where to change gear. With Outrun, because I've played it so many times, it's a lot easier. But yeah, I haven't played that version before, and it was a good game to sit down and have a go. It was.
Yeah. What else did we see there? We saw someone. We were talking about the Commodore 64 power supply as well, saying about you can get these new Fandangle ones, cars or something. He makes them in America.
Might be. Did we get a leaflet from that?
I think we did actually.
I can't remember. That was quite early in the morning, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of rumours that the power supply blows up and then you end up losing your chips.
Which is quite serious, because you think about it, the more people that have their power supply blown up, the more that they're going to end up in the dustbin, and there's going to be less and less of them.
Yeah, which obviously is going to be a lot harder to find, and the price will probably increase. But yeah, it's good to know that somewhere along the line that there's a place that you can get a power supply, ain't going to be genuine, but it's going to have different chips or whatever, or capacitors in it that won't blow up. Because myself, I'm quite, I guess anyone with a 64 might be a bit worried now regarding power. I don't know.
Yeah, the power issue.
I mean, obviously you probably would know more than me about it, but
It's usually, I can't remember, it's the 5 volt or the 9 volt. It usually drops or it goes up, and then basically it fries some of the chips.
Right.
It's got no internal protection inside the C64 itself, which is a worry, because you think to yourself, you could go home tonight, switch it on, and it's gone.
Right.
It's one of those. It's not like, and everyone still uses the original power supplies. We even saw one where he'd modded it, didn't we? Where he dropped one of the lines and he'd used like a PC power supply with it, which is quite, in a way, it's quite funny.
That could be something that we could look into.
Yeah.
Possibly, but yeah, it'd be handy. That would be to sort of do, because I've only heard about it on one of the forums. And a bloke said that his power supply, he was trying to run a demo, and he said his power supply ain't working, or something, not working, but not giving out enough voltage, and it lost me, it did, and I'm thinking, okay. And then Steve mentioned about power supplies, and there was another chap, I think his name's Simon, who we met over this weekend, and he mentioned it. So, after seeing these new power supplies that are out, it's definitely worth researching, I think, and having a look and finding out exactly what they do and how much they are, and whether or not the C64 would blow up.
Yeah, because even when you see, like, at the retro stores, don't you, like Console Passion was down there and various other people, they're selling like a Commodore 64, say, for argument's sake, you're paying a fair bit of money for it, or you think it's a reasonable price that you've bought it for, but they've still got that original power supply in it. Now, they've obviously tested it, and it's safe to put back onto the shelf, but you might go home from that show tonight, switch it on, and it's gone.
Yeah,
you can't tell when they go, when they will go, and that's the problem. It's one of them sort of things. You might have spent really good money or got it really cheap at the show, you switch it on, and then it's gone.
But do we know any time limit? Well, not obviously a time limit, but...
No, there isn't a time limit at all on it. It's like, it's literally, it could go tonight, it could go a week's time, it could go in 10 years' time.
Don't scare me.
It's one of them sort of things. If you think about it, the SID chips are quite expensive, the PLAs are quite expensive, and you'd be throwing good money after good money to try and get that machine up and running again. That's your original home machine from, say, when you was a kid, and you spend all that money trying to get it on, and then the more people that do that, they might chuck it away, then the chips starting getting harder, there's very few of them, they don't make the SID chip anymore. I know you can get clones of it, but they don't make it anymore. So the problem is, people are going to ask good money for them if you want something that's original in it. Another thing that's always a good thing for a C64 is put the heat sinks on it. So it brings down the temperature within the chip, so it prolongs the life of the PLA and various bits. And then, like with Adam's one, we bought it and we had to redo the capacitors in it because they started leaking.
Yeah, we need to get the heat sink or whatever it is on
the SID and the PLA.
SID, yeah, there's something that we'll be working on. That will, but yeah, it's just frightening stuff. As I said, I overheard. Well, not overheard. People were speaking about it. And with me, it's sort of like turn it on, and if it happens, it happens. But then you sort out the problem. But then you've got to issue more problems if it does go. But it's just something, if you're unaware, if you've got a 64, then
or you may have bought one down the show today.
Yeah, and it's, these little things you need to sort of keep your eyes open for, and it's good to know this other source with these power supplies, or see how they work and sort of what's the word?
You don't want to jeopardise something that you've bought.
No, I mean, you could use that and build your own.
Yeah.
Use that design or the chips, find out what's inside it, and then play about with it and make your own one up. That would be ideal. That would be.
Yeah.
You can pause it and stop.
That's fine.
I can't think what else to say. My voice is going.
What else we have? We had, the deal of the day. What did we get now? We got some Spectrum games, didn't we? Cassettes.
That was yesterday.
Yeah, that was yesterday. Yeah, we got some Spectrum cassettes yesterday, didn't we? We got some. You got some today, to be fair.
Yeah.
You got the Crash magazine ones.
Yeah, quite a few of the Crash magazines. I was umming and ahhing. Steve goes out to get them. You've got the magazines, you need to Crash. And I think, well, yeah, but I've got the games. But anyway, I got them.
Yeah. Plus you got that CD32 game as well. We had a couple of two games yesterday, which was also good for the CD32.
Yeah, it had, what was it, Cracks?
Quack
Team-
Shot.
No, not Crack Shot, that's Donald Duck.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, you got me
Quack.
confused now. Yeah, it's a little platformer with a yellow bird or whatever it is, or a chicken, I can't remember what it was now, that runs about on the screen and you collect things from go through doors. But yeah, not F1 Racing by Team 17, all Team 17. F1 Racing, Alien Breed, and Project X.
Yeah,
So-
which was really good. Then I got the deal of the day, didn't I? I asked for a Spectrum rubber key, Spectrum. And I thought, oh, you know, it's in a display cabinet, it's going to be a lot of money. And I said, oh, just out of curiosity, how much do you want for these you know, the 48k Spectrum, the rubber key one? And he goes, oh, he said, I don't want a lot, give us a fiver for it. And I was like, wow.
So Steve bought a Spectrum 48k rubber for a fiver.
Yeah, that must have been the deal of the day, that must have been.
It was, and I was a bit like, you know, a fiver. And Steve's hand was in his pocket, straight to the geezer, and then straight, you know, we just thanks, and that was it, done. But a Spectrum for £5.
Yeah, so some of the stores had more expensive like Spectrum games than the actual the thingy. We saw one there, didn't we? Boxed, and he said it had been modded. Do you remember the one, the black one?
Oh right, yeah.
We saw that, and they said modded, and basically all it was the to composite. So they'd disabled the RF box to composite box, and they wanted 95 quid for that.
That was the rubber one, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the exact same thingy. Or fair enough, you got the manual, you got the outer carton, but you're paying, in theory, you're paying £90 for the power supply, the carton, and the manual.
Exactly. But then again, that's what it is. I guess it's what people will pay. But it was still there. It was there all day. It was there yesterday on the Saturday as well. It was. So I don't know if anyone brought it. We don't know if that Amiga went.
No.
That dude was taking the computer down, wasn't he? He had the 500s. I think, what shop was it? Was it Passion? Or something?
Console Passion or something?
Yeah, they had a box,
Amiga 500.
Yeah. And I think we left by then, but he had it in his hands. It's a bloke in the shop, whether or not he's lowering the price or not, but it would have been nice if that sold. It would have been.
Yeah, and it's in the Lemmings pack, wasn't it, on the A600? That was quite interesting.
Yeah.
I've never seen, I've only ever seen the box for the A600. I've never seen, the sleeves.
Yeah, it was good. I think he was asking for, was it
275.
Good at remembering. Yeah, 275.
275 he wanted.
But he had the Saul
pack.
He had the other, it had Deluxe Paint, Lemmings and Captain Planet. It's a 500 pack on the sleeve.
That's right.
But there was another pack with it because we had the Pinball Dreams, Pinball Illusions, Chaos Engine, and what else did we